Hello, everyone. Welcome to Industry's Greatest Hits, our manufacturing and distribution solutions for Business Central. So excited that you're here today, joining us to see this great lineup of solutions for manufacturing distributors specifically. So, really talking about this industry, your pain points, how to automate, streamline, make your job easier, and all different aspects of your business. So, very excited that you're here today. Very excited for this lineup. I am your host, Amy Keenan, founder of the ISV Society. I put these different initiatives and events together to help educate and inform you of what's really in the ecosystem, to see a wide variety of solutions in one mini virtual event to hopefully save you time and really see what's out there that can help make your jobs easier. So, with that, this is going to be recorded, and I will be sending out a recording email after day two tomorrow with everybody's recording their 15-minute demo in a playlist so that you can go back and watch some that you may have missed and or share with your team. If you do have any questions, just so we can keep things moving, please put them in the chat and we'll have our presenters go in there and answer them after they've finished their 15-minute demo, just so we can keep things on point and on track and on time. So that way we can finish on time as well, because we all want to make sure and we're, cognizant of time and giving you're taking the time out today to be here. So we don't want to take too much time out of what we're already scheduled to do here today. So with that, I am going to stop sharing my screen and we are going to have Blake from Cavallo kick off our industry demo day. So welcome, Blake.
Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for having me. I am excited to be here talking about our products in the Business Central space. It's a pretty exciting space with everything going on in Business Central. They're obviously flourishing. And so we're excited to be a part of making it a platform that works for a lot of businesses. There's a lot that we can do in that space, and we're excited. So, like Amy said, my name is Blake, and I'm here on behalf of Cavallo. I am a product manager at Cavallo, and I've been here for about 15 years. So, a lot of experience, and I'm really excited at what the BC space has to offer. So, let me talk a little bit about Cavallo. So, Cavallo is a company that is kind of focused on one thing, and that, at the crux of it, and that is making businesses more profitable. And we're trying to make them more profitable, more competitive, and more valuable. And our products do that through a couple of mechanisms. We do that through visibility and making sure that the things that the people in your business need to have visibility on are visible to them. We do that through automation. So automating things like generating purchase orders and all of these things that take a lot of manual time that people can automate to free up their people to focus on the things that can't be automated away. So they can go be on the phone instead of doing these manual things. And we also do it by making sure that the orders and the other transactions flowing through your system are correct and accurate. There's a lot of touch points for a lot of documents. And every business is different, and they all have those different things that they have to make sure that the orders in their business satisfy. And so we add the tools that allow you to go in and make sure that the orders that are going through your system are as profitable as they can be, and that they match whatever your business standards are. And again, those business needs, they're so different between distributors. And so having the tools that are flexible and allow you to craft something that really works for your business specifically is really important. So Cavallo, founded in 2003, we've served over 1,000 distributors, 100 million in value created. I really think these kind of bottom two left numbers probably make the most impact, which is that we have a very high retention rate and a very high NPS score. Both indicators that the people who do choose to go with our solutions to help their business, they're happy with the results that they see and they stick around. So moving on from there, we're really going to focus in on three key areas that our product can help with here, and that's back orders, drop shipping, and reservations. But our products really do a whole lot more. We'll hit on some of that today, but again, with the limited time we have, we'll be pretty focused. All right, with that, I am going to jump us into demo time. So I am going to get into Business Central here, and I'm just going to, off the bat, talk about the visibility side of what we do, and then we'll go into kind of the admin side. So I'll talk a little bit about our product that we're going to focus on today at a high level. So Mission Control is the product we're going to talk about. And Mission Control's focus is on taking your specific business process and really codifying it in the system and automating what you can as a part of that process. And a big part of that is also the visibility side to, again, make sure that you have visibility and the people who are focused on different parts of your business have the visibility on what's important to them. So let's actually go over here and you can see that we have some UI here in Business Central, and I'm going to go to our Mission Control dashboard here. So what we allow you to do is essentially build out the different queues, is what we call them, but the different steps of your sales process. And you can come in here and you could see, well, what are the different documents at those different steps of my process? So if you have someone, you have people who are focused on picking and packaging or shipping or creating invoices, they can come in here and they can very easily say, okay, what documents are at this step? Now, the steps that I have right here are very rudimentary, right? New order, pick package, ship package, create invoice. I think anyone who has known a distributor for more than 16 seconds knows that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes. And so let's actually go into our admin tool here, and let's look at actually what the product looks like and how we set up those steps of our sales process. So you can come in here, and what we allow you to do is come in and develop your sales workflows for your quotes, orders, invoices, and returns. We're going to be adding even more here in the future of service documents and things like that. But we're going to focus in on the order workflow right now. So if we come in here, you could see, let me zoom out just a little bit. You could see that we kind of have a couple of steps set up here, and they're the same ones that you just saw in Business Central. So here we have our new order, pick package, ship package, create invoice. So what this allows us to do, if we actually go and look at a sales document here, this is back in BC, you can see that we add this field here, and you can actually see like what step of my sales workflow is this document in. And then we have some actions up here in the menu where you can go and you can basically submit this document through your workflow process. So you could say, okay, it's done at this step, it's ready to move to the next step. So again, if we come back to our admin setup here, for my business, like just taking a document that's a new order and forwarding it to pick package, like we're missing a lot of logic that needs to be here and attached to my workflow, because a new order doesn't just come in and I just send it off to pick package, right? I have to know certain things about that order. And that order might have more complexity where it needs to go certain places before it can ever make it to pick package, right? I have to make sure that the person can pay for it. I don't want to sell things that someone can't pay for. I need to make sure I have the inventory and the reservations so that that thing is ready to pick and package. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to think not only what do I want visibility on from what steps something might be in my business, but what logic needs to be there so that the right people in my business, again, can have that right level of visibility. So I'm going to add a new step to my workflow here, and I'm just going to say needs payment review, right? If I have something that comes into my system and I am unable to take the payment for it, I need it to go somewhere where the people who are focused on making sure that we get the right payment information from our customers can come and find those documents. And let's add a couple of more here. Let's say needs inventory, and another one for needs dropship. We'll just keep these pretty basic for now. So you can see that I now have those steps here. And if I were to go in and publish this workflow, we can actually bounce back to Business Central. And if we were to refresh the page here, you'll actually see that it'll update and add those. So now someone could come in here and say, okay, well, what are the orders that are waiting in each of these steps? But even then, I mean, right now we've just talked about the visibility aspect. Where the real power of the tool comes from is being able to come in here to this new order step and say, okay, what are the actions and the actual logic that would conditionally route or perform things at different steps of my process? So here I have a new order. And what's the first thing that, for me, let's say for my business, that I want to do when a new order comes in? The first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that the user can pay for this. And so I'm going to come down here and I am going to add an action. And I'm going to say that when so here's a list. We have a ton of actions in here you can pick from. But again, the one I was mentioning, I want to come in here and the first thing I want the system to do is automatically try to authorize the credit card on file. So this is going to come in and it's going to say, we have a new order. Let's go ahead and try to authorize that credit card. And it's going to try to authorize it for the balance of the document. You do have a couple of options in here, but we don't really have time to go through all of them today. So now I could come in and I could actually add a conditional statement. And I could say, okay, we tried to authorize this balance for this order. Now let's actually check. And we're going to look at a field from the order. You can conditionally do stuff on a lot of different things here, be it related to the order, the line, or the product. For right now, we're going to say, we're going to check a field from the order. And we're going to say, is the amount authorized on this document anything other than the balance on the document? Because if we weren't able to capture that payment up here, or I'm sorry, authorize that payment, we don't want this to go to pick, pack, ship. I don't want other people doing things on this document when we're not even sure if the customer is going to be able to pay for it yet. So now I can say, if we weren't able to authorize that full amount, immediately, I want to move it automatically to that needs payment review queue that we created. So now order comes in, flows into our system. We immediately look at it. We say, could we process the payment? And if not, automatically, I want to make sure that our payments team or whoever is managing that has a visibility on it. So now let's keep going. Let's say, okay, let's say we were able to get that payment here. So I'm going to save this. Okay, so let's say we were able to get that payment so we didn't go follow this route path because we were able to get it. What's the next thing we're going to check? So we can come in here and we could say, okay, now I want to see they could pay for it. Let's go ahead and let's try to reserve the inventory for all of the lines on the document. And after that, we'll do another check. We'll say, were there any lines on this document? So I'm going to do a field from the line here. Were any of the lines on the document their quantity reserved? Gotta love touchpads. Was their quantity reserved less than the quantity on the line? So we try to reserve everything in the document. And in this case, does it detect that there's any lines on this document where it was not able to reserve all of that quantity? And if that was true, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to route this to needs inventory. Now, here's where a lot of the power from the system comes in, because not only are we conditionally routing things and checking things and performing actions, but we can actually create things in the system too. So in this case, if this situation is true, right, there is something that wasn't able to be reserved on this document, maybe I want to do what it's doing right now and just send it to the needs inventory queue, and maybe someone's monitoring that and you want them to manually create the purchase order, and that's totally fine. But for a lot of people, you want to be able to take that manual step of creating the purchase order, and you want to go ahead and you want to just generate that purchase order. Someone does not have to be spending time manually entering that. So here I'm going to say there's an action. So if these conditions are met, we're going to trigger an action, and we are going to say, I automatically want to go ahead and create a purchase order based on the remaining to ship from this document. And again, there are more options here for the quantities you might generate. But now comes in, can they pay for it? Cool. Let's go ahead and try to reserve the inventory. Oh, it wasn't able to reserve everything. Let's make sure we have visibility on that. And I want to go ahead and automatically generate that purchase order. You can even choose whether or not you want that purchase order to be emailed. And you can email it to automatically to whoever created the document or to customer attributes or vendor attributes as well. So you can add that layer of automatic visibility here on top of it, which is pretty cool. Now I know we don't have much time, so I'm going to keep going. And so Another common scenario here is related to drop ships. So I could create another path here and I could say, another conditional path, and I could say, if we have a line on this document, and so if any of the lines on the document have a purchasing code of dropship, I want to, again, automatically route it to get that visibility. I want to generate a purchase order. I want to generate a shipping order. You could also do a lot of other things in here, again, related to payments and invoices. But what this allows you to do is, again, get all of that conditional logic in here and then be able to automatically route things in your system, get the visibility to your people that they need. And what's really cool is we have a built-in visualizer here as well. So as you built out your workflow, you can come in here and say, okay, is this what's right for my business? A new order comes in. Here are the possible paths for this order and where it goes. And when it gets to those steps, you can conditionally say, okay, these things are met, these conditions are met, and I want this thing to happen automatically. Now, we talked a lot about some of those basic scenarios there, the drop ships, the back orders, but these conditions allow you to do a lot of flexible things as well. One of the areas where a lot of people lose profitability is because orders go out the door that are incorrect, right? And so you can come in here and you can add conditions for that, and you can automatically be adding that layer of system level codification that makes it so that, let's do an example here. So let's say that I want to do a field from the order, and one of my options in here is margin. So I could say specifically, if the margin percent on any order is less than, let's just say, 10%, and again, it might be different per business, I automatically want it routed to a manager review queue, right? This is one of those things that gives you that system level protection. Maybe your manager approves it, maybe they don't, but you have that codified. So if you're a company that maybe you have a lot of new salespeople or what have you, where orders are going out the door, not meeting your company standards, you can come in here, you can build out this workflow, you can add those conditions that are right for you, and you can let the system handle what it can. You can let the system do those things automatically that you're currently paying someone to not only have to try to track down and maintain, but to manually create things that you could otherwise let the system create for you. So this is all about opportunity cost. It's about freeing up your people. It's about making sure your orders are correct and that they follow that path, that visibility through your process. So at any one point, you could say, what are my orders that are waiting for payments or for manager review? And you can make sure that those things are always happening when they need to happen. And the last thing I'll hit on here is the communication side. When things hit different steps here and you want to conditionally send an email to the customer or the vendor or even to an employee, so maybe something hits here and it is a payment problem or a margin problem, and you immediately want an email to get sent to a manager to say, hey, you have a system, you have an order in the system that's meeting these criteria and you need to know about it. So a lot of cool stuff here. Again, a lot of flexibility. If you're intrigued by any of this, we would love to talk to you more. You can email us at marketing@cavallo.com. Cavallo.com is our website. We have a lot to offer, and we would love to hear from you and see what we can do to help you really push your business to the limits with the tools you already have. It keeps your people living right there in BC. And like I said, we would be happy to talk to you and talk about what we can do for you and your business.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much,
Amy.
Blake.
Yep, thank you.